usamos la música de hip hop. Para nosotros el hip hop es una cultura de resistencia, una cultura de sobrevivencia.
Let's go. I be rocking around my youngins on the block, right? And the funny thing is, we've been rocking for 15 years. So all my youngins, they be like, yo, Rob, you be mad 90s with it. You know what I'm saying? I be like, yo, man, throw in your new beats and watch how we rap over these new beats as well. So this for all my young people in the blood. I want to play some music that hit with y'all a little bit. Give me any beat, one of these new beats.
Yo, cambio el clima, cambia tu rima, cambia todo, cambia pregunta de mi espina. Y con el piso venceremos, amor, dame esta Venezuela. Spit mi veneno, tap the chicos, cause I have money to my centro. Centro, a la ciudad de Centro, capitalismo violento como mi beso. Agarro un y dale un beso, garantita, ese de lo mío. Partida de hoy, cada uno de los míos. Cada vez que da un grito, en cada vez que yo me río, que la baja lidiando, tanto pagarones, bueno, la gasolina que la burn microphone. Son fome, pero bien famoso, tanto que hay gente que tenga gozo. Hello, te huele a tu oso. Un par de pelagoso, un par de tu torta. I need a piece, it's rap right now, till it's starting to eat. Rap right now, till it's starting to eat. Some bad later, I got my teeth. Smoke now, and still doing more. Still hungry, no this, you know, Revelina. And 89, like Google with the head, got the Google, and you know I got the Google. Soy como rata que no va de fondo. Yo soy una artista, no, pinta y oro. De oro, colores, para comprar oro. Y como zapatilla, el color de oro. Para oro sólido, para merengue, con una movimiento de la mano, mi gente. When I was 18, when I was back, she my favorite. I'm a favorite moving down. I was walking in the line with some stolen empty shots. I'm old school like the mom getting mad throwing chocolates. But she hit her like Marcelo Salas. My CDs play like the ballads. The only Christopher we acknowledge is Wild Eyes. Hey, yo, come on. Yeah, hey, yo, come on. Hey, we say people, y'all say power. People. We say people, y'all say power. People. Yeah. No, real quick, I want to share something. A lot of times, when you do work that's against the system, that's against nonprofits, that's against the Democrats, that's against the Republicans, that system collectively will be quick to dismiss you and dismiss the work that you do and even do wild things like say that you're crazy. And I say that because sometimes when you do this work, you also realize that not only might you not be the one that's crazy, but the conditions that our communities live under are what's crazy. I promise you that like a superstar rap. Spit like a monster for myself on the lap. First rap in English, then rap in Spanish. International, worldwide, you can see my lyrics. Walking out in these streets to the house of spirits. To the people looking at the media, I want keep up with all the show. Listen here, all the pictures to the choir. We stay on the block in the neighborhood.
Y'all feel good? You know, they say that the role of the revolutionary artist is to make ideas of the revolution irresistible. You know what I'm saying? To be able to spread those messages, you know, and be able to feed the people, you know, some fun and some entertainment, but also get these important messages across. And I'll keep it 100. Sherry called me, I'm like, yo, I can't even talk, I got crazy. You know, a lot of times we say, I'm a rapper for the poor, I'm the poor rapper, you feel me? And so, I was like, yo, I need health care, my tooth is messed up. I believe in the poor people's army, I believe in the work, and we here because of that, you know what I'm saying? We believe in what y'all do. I think for a lot of us that have been doing work for a while, sometimes you get disillusioned when you see things for what they are, when you see movements being co-opted by dollars, you know what I'm saying? I said in a bar one time, I said, you can't start a revolution when it's funded by dollars from the same system that you're trying to abolish. You know what I'm saying? I said, you can't start a revolution when it's funded by dollars from the same system that you're trying to abolish. And so, we here because we see too many of these folks, you know what I mean, poverty pimping and trying to manage poverty. And we ain't trying to manage poverty, we're trying to abolish poverty. And the only way we're going to abolish poverty is by abolishing wealth. Real talk. And so I say that because it's been a lot of symbolic gestures. Black Lives Matter murals on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Defund the hashtag defund the police. But I'm gonna share something with y'all. As long as there's wealth, as long as wealth exists, best believe that those that are wealthy will find some way of protecting that wealth from folks that don't have it. So whether that police is state funded, whether it's Blackwater funded, whether it's private, whether it's a technology wave that got all of us under surveillance anyways, we have to be clear that the fund of police can't be an end game for complete freedom and the eradication of poverty, you feel me? So, on that note, we ain't never rocking the police, la policía, la chota, la jara, whatever you want to call it, la patrulla, the pacos, the pigs, 12, let's go, this is la patrulla.
We put our ones up. Y'all want to join us with our ones? We put our ones in the air for one love, for one unity in our hood. Remember all those that have fallen in the hands of this racist police state, both here in the U.S. and overseas. Their spirit is alive and well. Every time we gather the revolutionary culture and come to the revolution, let's go, come on,
Sherry can tell us how long we're supposed to rap, so one more. We do one more. We finish it at that. We can leave it at that too. One more. Y'all want to hear one more? Alright. Yo, I've always thought that hip hop is not only about resistance, but it's also celebration. And as a movement, you gotta celebrate your victories. We in the middle of the real pandemic, which is this economic system that don't let our people live with dignity, but we still find it, a way to all come together. So we're gonna celebrate that victory. You wanna throw some levantamos? Let's go. This is a little cumbia with one of my cumbia homies from Chile. Here we go. Let's go.
are folks with class and wealth privilege who are organizing for the just redistribution of land, wealth, and power, so abolishing wealth. As we just heard, it turns out there are a few people with cash, rich people, who are interested in doing that in solidarity and following the leadership of poor people and the Poor People's Army. Is there something specific you want me to say about it? This is what we're doing. Okay. So there's a group of people in Philly who are interested in redistributing the cash that we have towards movements that are led by poor people and supporting this movement. And part of it for me is really regaining my humanity, to have shared humanity with other people. I grew up in the Philly suburbs, and we would drive through North Philly with the doors locked and windows up to go to Center City or Old City, and just there was a huge swath of Philadelphia that I was told was just not on the map. And working with and supporting poor people's economic human rights campaign has just turned the lights on for me of there's a whole city here of families and workers and people living and loving and caring for each other and making it through the day. And so I just want to say thank you for welcoming people who want to support the work to be part of the family and be what we have to give, and also really learn. Because what I was raised with was that money will keep us safe at the end of the day, and one thing that we're seeing in COVID is that money absolutely buys you a lot of protection, and also you lose part of your humanity. Mutual aid, where you actually get to feed your neighbors and know your neighbors, is a much more sustainable, loving way of being on the earth and being in a relationship with other people. So mostly I want to say thank you for welcoming me here as part of the movement. Usually when I'm in people spaces, I'm you all know me, I'm just here to listen. And part of what's been really an honor about working with Peter is people being no, we want to hear from you too. Please, share what you have, listen and teach and be in close relationships. And that's when we think about what kind of funding, how to move money towards Peter, I just I guess what I would say is bear with us, not much though, only bear a little bit with us, but thank you for letting people who want to fund this work come in and listen and learn from the movement that you all are leading, and thank you for asking things of me and of us, and I'm going to try to bring more of my community here to learn from you all and to fund this work and to fund it with no strings attached and to fund it with no questions asked and to fund it for people to take the money that is yours, that all wealth is stolen, so what I have is stolen. So we're going to try to keep moving more and more with that for it to be used in the community as it's needed until wealth is no longer.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, that's a great message to a whole lot of people out there. So we just really want to thank RG for all the things that they have been doing and supporting us. And we even went on an interesting little tour through Bryn Mawr once, because we went door to door and we knocked on the doors and we said, "Hi, we're here for reparations." And it was the most fascinating tour I was ever on in my life, because almost everybody had a heart attack when they opened the door. It took about 10 minutes for the police to be there. They thought we were coming in or something, but anyway. But it was a great conversation, because like Jessica said, all wealth is, taken. And we want to make sure What'd you say? Okay, so now I'm going to trust that the groups are going to be brief, but we need a report back. One person from each group that met this morning to report back. So the first group is, yes, the first group is, of course, the most important group that I belong to, the children's group. If the children could come up first. Okay, I just want to tell you, all the children need to come up. Not all the children are speaking, but all the children must come up. So that means Sammy, that means Shawnee, everybody to the front of the room. That means Teresa. Come on, stand up here. Come on now. That means our whole group here. Okay, let's give, and Samaj, why did you up here? Huh? Okay.
What did the pandemic do to your life? A, couldn't go to school. Took education away. Didn't get to school. Hard to get to use online school. Let me tell you. It was put off on parents too. Boring to stay inside, no school online, no communication or school. Relationship with family was hard. Couldn't see family, friends, parents getting confused with kids. What will you do when you get back to school? More arguing and more fights? Oh, the pandemic. I think, okay, that's what I mean. What's going to happen when they go back to school during the pandemic? They're going to be more careful and learning how to be safe.
What they was telling me about is there's going to be more fights because they're going to be, their mom and parents stay with distance, stay with the hands and stuff. But what I liked about Lisa's daughter, she said she's going to have trouble with school learning because she is a disability person. So she was like saying, I work hard on my books, on my readings and all. So it's going to be very, very hard for her. So that's what I appreciate her saying that. So we made
This poem is by Langston Hughes, one of my favorite poets. It's called Let America Be America Again. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plains seeking a home where he himself is free. America was never America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love where never king connives nor tyrant scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It was never America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic grief, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me or freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that moveth through the dark? And who are you that draw your blood across the stars? I am the poor, white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and find that old same, that only same old pursuit plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways, of satisfying needs, of work the men, of take the pay, of only everything for one one's greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker, sold to the machine. I am the Negro, servant to you all. I am the people, hungry, mean, hungry. Yet today, despite the dream, being yet today, oh pioneers. I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I am the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still serving kings who dreamt the dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet is daring sings. And every brick and stone and every furrow tone that made America the land it has become. Oh, I'm the man who sells those early seeds in search of what I meant to be my home. For I'm the one who left Dark Island shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lake and tore from black African strands. I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Surely not me. The millions who were relieved today. The millions shot down when we strike. The millions who have nothing for our pay. For all the dreams we've dreamed, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay. The millions that have nothing for our pay, right? Except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again. The land that has never been yet, but yet must be. The land where every man is free. The land that's mine, the poor man's, the Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand in the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back a mighty dream again. Sure, all any other humanity choose. The still of freedom does not stand. For those who live like leeches on people's lives, we must take back our land again, America. Oh yes, I say it plain. America was never America to me, and yet I swear this oath America will be. Out of the rape and ruin of our gangster death, the rape and pride of graft, and the step and lies, we, the people, must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountain, and the endless plain. All the stretch of these great free states, and make America again. The usual A group, the first group, does somebody want to report back?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Renee Shelby. I'm with Regional Morris. I'm with Jersey. Oh, a little louder. Oh, okay. Okay, great. My name is Renee Shalhoub. I'm from Mutual Morris in New Jersey. Okay, so we were from all over the country, Delaware, Colorado, Michigan, Massachusetts. We stressed human dignity with our approach to serving and helping people with housing and food and essential items. We spoke about food distribution and access, how nonprofits can hold those things back for profit, making sure that our families, friends, and neighbors are involved in the process with us so that we can create a larger collective and group. We also spoke about people that are in recovery or have just gotten out of the prison industrial complex and how they need more support. And the focus should be on getting them the mental and emotional support that they need rather than throwing them back and saying, you need to work and you need to get housing and you need to do this and that. We need to take care of each other during times like this and not focus on money. We also spoke about the effects of the virus, how some people feel that there is profit in the diagnosis in hospitals, keeping people or not taking some people. So even if you are positive, some people are not being admitted and other people are. So that was an issue for us. And then overall, we spoke about the system of capitalism and what does productivity mean. Labor replacing with technology, and if somebody has to, for someone like myself, I can say as a teacher, I'm very passionate about working with children, so I want to go to work. But if someone is just working a menial job at McDonald's for a couple hours, maybe they have talents that they can share with us, like carpentry or, making art that can contribute to a greater collective good. And so we want to make sure that, when we talk about abolishing capitalism, that we're also creating support networks for people too. Anyone else in the group feel like, yay, okay, great, thank you.
Okay, so the next group was gun violence. So somebody that can report back briefly. Dr. Wilkins, Jamal, are you coming up? One of the hardest working men you'll ever meet. I gotta serve some kind of purpose tonight.
Okay, our thing was on gun violence. As I said earlier, we all know that there's prevalent in communities right now. A lot of people getting killed. 3 people killed last night. 5 shot. 10 shot last night. We started off talking about gun violence itself. I spoke about the program that the city has now taken up called GVR. And it's supposed to be something that was tried in other cities, so we're trying to do it here in Philadelphia to reduce gun violence. We talked about community involvement, having everyone involved in this because the police are basically depending on us to do something. They are not here to basically check every violent thing that happens, so they can't be there when things happen. It's up to us. The no snitch rule has got to stop. Parents have got to start checking to see if their children have weapons. And we brought up an interesting issue about women, about what women's obligations were in reference to men, because there aren't many black men on the streets trying to help us stop this problem. So we came up with I asked the question if the women had an obligation, and I meant that as the men that eat and sleep at home, you know, when they were y'all looking at all this carnage on TV, you ever say to them, why don't y'all go out there and help them out? And you ever encourage them to get out in the street, if you maybe once a week, a couple hours a day, to help all of us that are out there trying to do something with this problem. So if you're not doing it, I would like to encourage you to do that. I asked for reasons as to why they wouldn't. Some came up with financial reasons. Some said it'll take more people to die before the men really start getting involved. Unfortunately, one gentleman said he was just stop making guns, period. Some said that men just need to get together and talk first and try to encourage each other to get on out there. Some said men are being so beat down that they don't want to get out there. One thing I can say that is I'm sure women have been beat down too, but guess what? They're out there. In fact, they're the majority of people that we see out there. When you look on the news, you see women crying. You rarely see men on TV crying about the death of their children. It's very important. And it's a very sad thing because those of us who go out there who really need more men, we need these young men to have somebody emulate. And it can't be mom, because mom is the one who's crying, because of course she probably lost more than one child. I believe it's very common. Then we start talking about reaching young people, being relatable to them, knowing how to communicate with them, not turn them off for the generational gap, or always preaching and not teaching. So we thought that that's something else we need to get involved in. And we came out at the end. I got to say this. I don't see anybody who was in my group doing. I'm sure they're in there. I'll be on this now, but she's still in. But at the end of the group meeting, most of the men were gone. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Because the whole issue is we need men. So we need you in, we need you out. And we need you women to encourage the men to come out. There's not enough men on the street. And even police say that we want to have to do something. They cannot arrest people out of this problem. They can't lock people up and it's going to stop. It's going to start with us. If we're not going to be involved with it, then we need to stop crime about it. That's what I put down here. We have got to be the ones who work. I talked to the police commissioner personally, and she told me the same thing. She said it's up to the community to get involved. So if you're not part of the problem, not part of the solution, then best believe you're part of the problem. Thank you.
Okay, so the next group is revolutionary messages. Melinda, are you recording back? And if anybody's interested in joining the Poor People's Army writers group, you can see Belinda. And I'm talking all kinds of writing.
Our group, very active and interesting discussion. There are a few of the conclusions we came to, which was about developing survival strategies, and included in that, knowing more, making ourselves experts on the coming issues in a larger sense, what's going to happen, for example, after the presidential election, and how to plan for the outcomes, which in any case are going to include up to 40 million homeless families in the country. Make our messages a lot more accessible across languages and abilities so that people can hear what we're saying and
generations of families. The families that are members and U.S. citizens, daughter, son, and U.S. citizens, but older daughter, older son are not. So you have 4 siblings, 2 can stay, 2 have to go. Mom and dad don't have their papers, or grandma. I personally am, on my mother's side, I'm 3rd generation Mexican American. My great-grandma and my grandmother died in this country with no papers. And my grandmother was a border child that crossed at 4 years old and died at like 80-something with no papers, undocumented. And she was Native, half Native, and her mom was 100% Native. The thing that we can do to organize, that people aren't talking about, is we need to start talking to those children who are in high school, who are U.S. citizens, and teaching them how to represent their families within this movement, how to politicize those families. Lawyers need to talk about how to politicize their clients, because their clients have relatives who are and can be talking about and looking for them. And, lots of work has disappeared, especially during the pandemic. Where are they? In Florida, a detention center got shut down because of the COVID-19. The people who are organizing there have no clue where those children, if they died, if they're in foster care, are they in hospitals, where are they? And you don't have rights as an undocumented person. We need to stop calling them immigrants when they're from this continent for thousands of years. We do not immigrants. We're not immigrants. We're Native people who have been told you can't come here to be able to work when we destabilize your economy, your culture, your family structure, and now you can't cross over here. Okay? So, I think those dynamics also need to be discussed when we're talking about immigration. Thank you.
Just so people know, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, for interested people, we have invited the presidential and vice presidential candidates to Kensington. Each of their campaigns have received official letters from us. Let me just make it clear. We sent a letter to the orange guy, President Trump, and we sent a letter to the Biden campaign, and we sent a letter to Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker, who actually are here today. And Holly, can you just wave? All right. So what I'd like to do is we're going to perform a few miracles here. Is Angela in the room? Oh, Angela, I didn't see you. What's our vice presidential candidate doing on the floor? So, if you can bear with me, we would like to, there's not a lot of labor leaders. Is Richard Hooker here yet? No. Not yet? Okay. So, these are going to be, we have 2 short little snippets of panels, but we think that they're really important. We'd like to ask 3 amazing labor leaders to come up here. Paul Grubb, Angela Walker, and Howie Hawkins. running for vice president in this country.
First off, I do need y'all to know, I ran for sheriff in 2014 in Milwaukee County. And this lady here was the person that I made, because I ran as an independent socialist. She was my template for that process. I need y'all to know that. I'm saying that and I was the legislative director for the Amalgamated Champion Union Local 998 in Milwaukee. And I was thinking how he has his union on his shirt, I got mine on my sleeve. So as far as I stand with labor, there's no question where this campaign stands with labor. But we also need big labor to understand this. You need to go back to your socialist roots, your communist roots, your 1930 roots. And this time, let's get it right. Leave no worker behind. It is not our job as labor to be gatekeepers against people of color, gatekeepers against, people around gender and things like that. We've left a lot of workers behind. And in the mass mobilizations that happened, like the Wisconsin Uprising and things like that, that was glaringly obvious because it was glaringly white. So when we want to talk about reorganizing and making labor relevant again, let's go back to where we started.
And another amazing labor leader that I've had long conversations with, that he has been the wind beneath Jim Moran's wings. A man that really is, personifies, I think, what a labor leader is supposed to be about, Paul Rudd.
Thank you, Sherry. It was way too kind. I appreciate that. Look, first off, I don't know if I call myself a labor leader. I'm a staff person. Works for a union. All right, so I'm not swimming with the big fish. I think the orders from the big fish, if you will. But like Angela said, labor's role has labor's confused about its role, especially now, I think, in that post-World War II, labor became a partner with capital in this country because there was a lot of money to be made and a lot of pork chops, as a friend of mine used to say, a lot of pork chops were there that could be thrown to the workers. And labor's job was relatively easy post-World War II with an expanding economy, right? Capital, even though capital was grinding people down, and it was turning out expendable folks that couldn't contribute no longer under the capital system. It was still keeping a majority of the populace happy in the United States, fat and happy, if you will. I agree with Angela that labor lost its way in that period, and that it left its roots. It was founded upon the dawn of the industrial age as anti-capital. We lost their way, and the problem is, as I see it, that labor in the United States is struggling on how to decouple from being a partner with capital. Their whole existence was about being a partner with capital and making deals with the boss, if you will. We got a big problem because capital can no longer take care of us. We're seeing that more and more. I've had the fortune of seeing what the system looked like in the late 70s. I had hope coming out of high school that I could just go down the street and get a job at a factory and it would be a good union job. Well, within a couple of years of that dream after graduation, I realized it was gone during the recessions in the 80s and whatnot. jobs being shed from the Northeast, moving to the South, and then since then, moving out of the South to Mexico, since then, but from Mexico to China or Asia, all to find a way to reduce their costs. Well, now we've got a disruptor, right? It's the computer chip, right? Which expands and doubles in power, once every 18 months or so. Robotization, jobs that will be completely irrelevant, don't need people to do them. Labor's got a big problem because they're attached to the old. And I think, like Angela said, we got to go back to our roots and become teachers about how capital can't save us. In fact, it will kill us in the end. And we've got to move on for providing the things necessary for not only survival, but for the thriving of people.
And my fellow Teamster and the originator of both the Greens and the Green New Deal, Holly Michaels.
Good afternoon. Is this on? Yeah. How many people here are in the union? Most of you are not. Let me tell you a little bit about the unions today. Sometimes we march in the Labor Day parade, occasionally on Picket Line. We got a slogan or chant. Who is the union? We are the union. But it's really not the case. Because most unions now, instead of organizing their own people and educating their own people to speak up and act for themselves, they hire consultants to do corporate campaigns, PR campaigns against the boss. So they only don't trust us as workers, they're afraid of us. Because we got a class system within the unions. We got the workers, and then we got the leadership, and the staff, and their professional managerial types, and our workers. And if we're educated and organized, we might elect new leadership. That's where the unions have evolved to. So, those of us in unions, or a couple of us, we got to organize amongst ourselves to take back our unions so that the other thing the unions do is they give all the money to the Democrats. Democrats say, thank you very much and take us for granted. Obama promised twice to do card check. That's where, as soon as everybody signs a card, we want a collective bargaining unit. You automatically get it, and you get bargaining. And after each election, he said, particularly after the second time, the Teamsters made that a big deal. Oh, Jimmy Hoffa Jr. And Obama just dismissed them. Well, we're not doing it. Sorry, we promised it, but we're not doing it. That's getting taken for granted. And so, if you get in the union, find your fellow workers and start organizing. Because the people that represent you, when you file a grievance for a safety violation or somebody stealing your check or changing your time card, that business agent looks at you as a nuisance because you make more work for him. So we got to fight the union as much as we fight the boss. Now, most people here are not in unions. The other big thing going on, the real labor movement in this country are the worker centers and community organizations like the Poor People's Fund. Because they are organizing poor working people to act and speak for themselves. You go to the worker center, they're working with immigrant workers, low-wage workers. They don't have collective bargaining agreements, but they organize pickets, spontaneous strikes, wildcat strikes, and they make gains. Like we've got that minimum wage raised in a lot of cities. And we made some small progress on the rights for immigrant workers. At least in New York we did. So, whether you're in a union or not, as a worker, you need to be organized. Otherwise, you're just an isolated individual, and the boss can take advantage of you. Now, I would say negotiating with UPS, a multi-billion-dollar large corporation. They have been paying me the minimum wage, which they actually did when I first hired, because they could. But we had a contract where I got some morning raises every year. Started at $8 an hour. By the time I retired, it was almost $23 an hour. Didn't make me rich, but sure a lot better than $8 an hour. So even as bad as unions are, it's better off being in a union and getting some out of that contract than being all by yourself and then with the boss.
You're really hitting the minds here. So, we've got to do really short, say a couple things about your breakout session. So, next, I would like to ask Anthony, is it Ann Smith to come up and say a couple words about young people and revolution.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? My name is Ed. This is my first time meeting some of y'all, so I'm trying to keep my introduction brief. I'm going to get into the bulk of what I want to say. Long story short, I'm a member of Philly Real Justice. We have been police abolitionists since about 2016. I'm also part of the Philly Black Radical Collective. Some of the folks who have been organizing momentum around the uprising in the past month. situation hit Philly pretty hard, right? And it took them so long to get stuff off the ground. I mean, they didn't even start doing free food distributions until like 2-3 weeks into the COVID situation. But you know, when they had issues with the young black folks in the city, they militarized the National Guard immediately. Tanks should not be on 52nd Street, yo. Them streets not that big to be on, to have tanks on there. They on top of the tanks shooting terrorists, shooting tear gas going to people's houses, kids getting hit with tear gas. The military was deployed immediately. You had to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get some food after the COVID hit. Right? Oh, we don't have enough money to get every kid laptops. How we going to do that? And then they realized the COVID situation was going to be here longer, and then all the kids got laptops. The issue is never if they got the money or not. The issue is what do we got to do for them to give us the money? Because they got it. That's the issue. Last thing I'm going to say on the question of street violence, it's a lot of common denominators, right? Some people got criminal backgrounds, some people have, so-called violent histories or histories in school or whatever. The biggest common denominator of people involved in street violence is poverty. That's the biggest common denominator. Larry Krasner just said in the article, the article was called, What's the Issue with Police Violence, or the issue of police violence rising. Larry Krasner himself said racism and poverty are undeniably connected to the street violence you see in the streets. The wages are low, the job opportunities is gone, people don't got health care, people don't got nowhere to go. All the issues in the streets are still there. One thing you also have is the streets to interact with, and that's the only thing that these kids got, these folks got. So, if we know that that's how the streets operate, and we know that poverty is a large circumstance of why you engage in the streets, then why the police are more concerned with criminalizing poverty than helping
So, let's get with it. We have to believe, because it's ahead of us. Justice, all those things that are deepest in us that we long for. Peace, most of all love. But we've got a beautiful world to enhance. We need to work together. We need all those things to build it. And the Spirit of God is there in that movement. This is the Spirit of God. Love, justice, peace. But we can't just sort of say nice things about it and hold our hands like this. You know, get on our knees and we have to work at it. So, thank God for the Poor People's Army. Yeah. I tell you, I need it for my health. And if I'm not healthy, I can't help anybody else to be. And I'm trying to help a whole lot of people. So, if we're not in touch with the peace and justice and movement, you know, we're missing the boat. Because that's what we're alive for. And thank God for the Poor People's Army that helps to keep me alive. And thank God for all of you who come to this and who care. And who aspire to something better than what we experience around us. We've got a lot of work to do. And there aren't enough of us to do it. But guess what? God's on our side.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's awesome to be here. I'm glad to be here sharing in the Poor People's Economic Rights Campaign. And I'll just say this. We live in a crimogenic society. The genesis of this society is crime. And one of the things that causes people to have such a lack of belief or trust or interest even in the church is that instead of the church being the one that exposes the crimogenic society, the church has become the one that gives cover and credence to the crimogenic society. In other words, Christianity has been weaponized and westernized against people. And therefore it takes someone who's operating in the radical prophetic tradition to expose them. Malcolm X said that he was saying this piece of battle with a bullet. The white church is basically a nationalist church. In other words, it goes with Blue Lives Matter. It goes with all those things that conform to nationalism. But we are not to be nationalists. We're supposed to be talking about another way of living. Radical debt cancellation. Radical wealth redistribution. The acceptance of all people. That's radical. And if we lived in a radical faith society, that would be the norm instead of the exception. It was the exception. So I choose to be a part of the exception. And I choose to be a part of the Poor People's Economic Rights Campaign. I'm excited to be here. And that's all I'm going to say before I get excited.
Faith and spirit and vision of the world to come keeps everyone else here going and to strengthen each other's faith together and etc. Talk
Department came through Samaj, who had got shot in the head in November. And as a result, that's how I met Sherry through Anita Williams and her family. And I want to deeply thank Sherry and how she has been walking very, very close, side by side with Anita Williams through her own personal pandemic of seeing her son laying there with a bullet in his head. So I want to thank you. One of the most influential people in my life that has really touched me, besides Martin Luther King Jr., is a guy by the name of John Perkins, who wrote a book called With Justice for All. I've never read that book before. It's a good book, isn't it? And of course, there's a couple of books came afterwards who he also wrote. But my wife and I, we went to Jackson, Mississippi, just to visit with him. My wife's serving on the board. I heard a young man say that he needed some dental work earlier. Well, John Perkins actually developed, as a result of his faith, developing 3 health clinics. And I'm sure there's one in the Bronx as well. I would encourage you to look it up. He has 3 health clinics as a result. My wife served on the board for several years, wrote articles for John Perkins, one of his organizations. And therefore, there's 3 health clinics. My wife, as a medical doctor as well, she actually has given much of her free services because of her faith and believing in people and working in the poorest communities, not just in Philadelphia, but also in Cookeville, Tennessee, which I'm not sure you might know where that's at. But we worked in, my wife and I both have decided to live in the community. So our faith is on a personal level has actually helped us to live right here in this community, but also to serve. She served at 48 and White Wilson at Community Council for 20 years, and also at John JFK Mental Health Center in Broad and Gerard. I'm sure you all know where that's at. Also Warren West. Well, her faith is my faith is what kept us here and serving the community of the poor. It's very, very difficult to get doctors to serve the poor. And her profession, unfortunately, she gets calls all the time. Fly us anywhere we want to go in the world. Pick up everything we have and take us, to the finest of lands, whatever that may be. I don't know what that's at now. But anyway, to supposed to serve there as well. And so with our credentials, we could have easily have gone into anywhere in the United States. And my wife always turned down calls. But our commitment to the poor, and I think it's your faith, this commitment to the poor, is what's most important than anything else. And if your faith does not bring you to the poor, then I wonder what you really call faith. It does not bring you to the poor and being a part of the people, what is faith? And that, to me, that's the most important thing for my wife and I and our family to live here. We've been threatened. Drug dealers have threatened to kill us. I've had all kinds of things coming against us because we live with the poor. And we don't just serve the poor, but we live with the poor. So I want to thank all of you for joining us and doing that. Thank you.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that it's clear that we embrace all faiths. Got it? Got it?
People's Army, we used to be Kinston Welfare Action. And we have been we were the first poor people's group to go to the international community to talk about the conditions of poverty here in the United States. They were used to affluent people going out there and wanting to know how their conditions were, but never, because they weren't from our communities, those same folks could never talk about what it was like to be poor in the richest country in the world. Okay? Poverty, where you have the richest people, poverty, the richness and wealth does not exist without extreme poverty. So if you have an extreme wealth somewhere, extreme poverty has to exist. There's no getting around that, it's math. And but this notion and this lie that's been perpetuated that everyone in the United States lives off of milk and honey. That's why it's so important, the international work, because our conditions are the same as others, and others' conditions are the same as ours. And when you're talking about dismantling a system, the colonial system was global. Well, the poverty system and its mechanism is global. It doesn't work in a bubble locally, it doesn't work in a bubble nationally, and it certainly, or statewide and national, and it certainly does not work in a bubble in one nation. Poverty here affects poverty there. And we have to strategize. We want to get rid of poverty. We have to have a blow in the richest nation, the belly of the beast. And that's what we represent, the poor people in the belly of the beast.
And this movement has traveled all over the world and met with just about every peasant movement all over the world in fields and you name it. So next, we like Galen Tyler to come up and say a couple words about political education.
Sure.
So this is a group that talks about education, political education, you name it, get away from it.
Yeah, I'm just going to be real short so we can get to the breakout sessions. My group today talk about different media outlets, different ways to be able to get educated, whether it be through music, whether it be through real books, you name it, people's lifestyle, stories, history. So that's what my group is about. So.
And please don't leave without taking a look at our history on the wall. Yeah, we've been out here. Next I'd like to call up an amazing reverend that has been around forever, been out there in the streets with us. And if you're lucky, you can see him pick up a guitar, and he's quite a musician as well, Reverend Bruce. To talk about what is the question.
How is everybody? I'm kind of loud, so. Anyway, I am going to be on a panel with my amazing, illustrious friends, Rebel Diaz. Rebel Diaz is in the house, and they'll be performing tonight, along with my daughter. Or you performing earlier? All right. What's that? Okay. And we'll be on a panel along with my daughter, Christina Wright, who is a professional musician, drummer, guitarist, bassist. And she's also a model, professional model. And, well, semi-professional. But anyway, I've been involved in the music industry in one form or another for more than 30 years. I play guitar, bass, and drums, as well as percussion, and as well as do poetry. And They have a production company that's part of Refuge International, which is in 8 states and 4 countries, including the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sierra Leone, Haiti, and England. And Squatter Productions, our production company, has produced a number of CDs, and we've been involved in music festivals and organizing concerts for revolutionary change with artists like Reverend Diaz, as well as Prophets of Rage and Method Man and Red Man, Wailers, Anti-Flag, and a number of other groups. And we are doing this panel because for too long, music, arts, and culture has been given an ancillary sidebar role in the revolution and movements. And we don't believe that art is just there to promote a movement, but art is of value. Music is of value for its own sake, but it also has a huge role to play in movements. And as a preacher, I can tell you, if you do any reading of the Hebrew scriptures or the Christian scriptures or most scriptures, you're going to find, particularly the Hebrew scripture of the Old Testament, that battle was often led by artists and musicians. They were the ones that brought down the walls of Jericho, for instance. So it is important, and we're going to be talking about how important art and music and culture is in our session. Thank you.
All right. So, that's everything, right? Okay, so we're going to break into 6 different groups. So right here where Aunt is, in this corner, is Young People in Revolution. And this corner over here, and as some people would say, every other chair, is Liberation Theology with Pastor Collins. And if the people can help me with getting the notepads in each of the groups, that would be great. And then here in the back is organized labor and transforming society. And in the front row in the lobby there is international solidarity. And in this corner over here is art, music, and culture. And in this lobby out here is political education. All right? So you got a short amount of time. You got to have somebody with a notepad and a marker, and you got to go to work. We go till 3:45. All right? Let's go. Yeah, there's 4 groups in here.
Okay, guys, they're going to be breaking out. There are actually 3 breakout sessions throughout the day. First breakout session was earlier, which is when they took the stream down. This is the second breakout session, which is taking place. It goes from, we're running a little behind on stuff, but it's basically going from 3 to 3:45. So they're breaking out into their individual groups, and then there'll be a report back at 3:45. After that, there's supposed to be the plenary on housing, healthcare, project survival. And that's supposed to be between 3:30, 4:30. So since it's running a little behind, it'll probably run from about, instead of 3:30, it'll probably run from about 4:30 independence and struggles, indigenous resistance, revolution ideas, climate crisis and reorganizing production, challenging corporate and state violence, police, prison, military, and fascism, and dismantling the 240 corporate regime. Then a session of report backs also. And again, tomorrow there's going to be the march which will be taking place, which is basically Lives of Block 3, or